Hello children, today in this video I will be teaching you about a new lesson, the banyan tree. So I want everyone to take out that chapter. So before I start the chapter, children, have you seen a banyan tree? Yes, it is called Bargat ka ped in Hindi. So the author narrates an incident of fight between a mongoose and a cobra that he witnessed as a young boy while sitting under a banyan tree at his grandparents' house. So, before the explanation of the chapter, let us know about the author of this chapter. Now, the author of this lesson is Ruskin Bond, and he is an Indian author of British descent. He lives with his adopted family in Landior, Mussoorie, India. The Indian Council for Child Education has recognized his role in the growth of children's literature in India. He was awarded the Sahitya Akademi Award in 1992 for Our Trees Still Grow in Dehra, his novel in English. He was awarded the Padma Shri in 1999 and the Padma Bhushan in 2014. So before I start the explanation of the chapter, let us discuss the meanings of the hard words. Venomous, poisonous, motion, movement, vertebrae, one of the joint in the spine, arcing, carving, sniffing, breathing, morsels, small pieces, headstrong, obstinate, squabbling, quarreling, propping up, leaning against, approaching, drawing near, went straight for, proceeded to attack, aggressive, attacking, defiance, challenge to fight, darting, moving, spectacle, having marks like powered glasses, combatants, fighters, mesmerize, bewitch, shrieking, crying, glistened, shone, whipped, suddenly, thudding, hitting, fluttered, moved its wings. Here is the explanation of the chapter, The Banyan Tree. The author was at his grandparents' house and he claimed that the banyan tree belonged to him, though the house owner were his grandparents. He said so because his grandfather was 65 years old and was unable to climb the tree. The author felt very happy and joyful to see the opened out branches of the tree, which used to hang from the tree in bunches to the ground. These roots had formed loops. Various animals like squirrels, snails, and butterflies were living in the turns of those loops. The tree was very old, older than the house and grandfather. It was as old as city Dehradun. First of all, the author became friends with a small squirrel. He arched his back and smelt into the air. In the beginning, he did not like the author's invasion into his privacy. But when realized that the author was not armed with anything to offend him, he became friendly. Soon the author started bringing him tidbits of food like cakes and biscuits. The squirrel started eating small morsels from his hands. Very soon the squirrel started digging into the author's pocket for whatever he could find. He was a young squirrel and his skin must have thought him to be a fool for trusting a human. In the spring season, the banyan tree used to be a full bloom. It used to be full of small red figs. Different birds like bulbul, parrots, manna, and crows used to fight with each other over small things. Their voices together used to make the place noisy in the garden in the season. On the tree, the author had made a platform of primitive style. In the afternoon, when it was not very hot, he used to spend his time here. He had put a cushion there which he had picked from the drawing room and was able to read at his place. While leaning against the tree, he had set up a small tree library, and the books that he read there were Treasure Island, Huckleberry Finn, and the story of Dr. Dolittle. Because of the hot summer, everyone was inside the house. The author was also feeling sleepy and lazy. Rather, he was deciding to visit the pond to swim with Ramu and the buffaloes when he noticed a cobra coming out of a clump of cactus and a mongoose from the bushes. The mongoose came out of the bushes and went straight to the cobra. Both the cobra and the mongoose came before each other under the banyan tree. The cobra was well aware that the mongoose had superb fighting skills, but he himself was also an experienced fighter and had deadly poisonous, long, sharp teeth. Thus, it was a battle between two champs. Creating a hissing sound in its defiance, moving his tongue quickly in and out, the cobra raised itself from the ground and spread his hood to fight and attack. The mongoose also showed his readiness to fight by brushing his tail and raising his hair. The participants in the fight were not aware of the author's presence in the tree, but two spectators, a manna and a crow, were noticing clearly. They witnessed everything and were settled on the cactus to watch the result. But they were not satisfied with just watching, rather, they participated in the fight. The cobra was trying to spellbind the mongoose with his movements, but the mongoose was well aware of the power of its opponents. So he fixed his focus on attacking the cobra at a point just below the cobra's hood and started the attack. The mongoose made false quick movements very close to the cobra. The cobra attacked and moved its hoods down so quickly that it seemed the mongoose would not be saved. But his small creature was quick to jump and move on one side. It also bit the snake on its back and again moved away out of its reach. The moment the cobra attacked, the crow and manna threw themselves at him to come into conflict. After making loud, short noises of attack, they came to the cactus plant. Drops of blood were shining on the cobra's back. The cobra attacked, but it missed it. The mongoose again jumped aside. The birds again tried to attack the cobra, but were collided with each other. So they came back to the cactus crying. Third time again, the birds tried to attack the cobra in the same manner, but this time there was a change. They did not collide with each other. The manna flew back to its shelter, but the crow tried to continue the fight in the air and come back. In the second trial, the cobra also moved suddenly and attacked the crow with full force. The author noticed the bird falling 20 feet away. It kept shaking its body for some time, but then it became still and died. The manna was on the cactus plant and she did not interfere in the fight after this. The cobra was weakened and defeated. The mongoose attacked fearlessly. It exhausted the cobra with its shrewd and fast attack moves and finally killed it. It caught the cobra from its hood and dragging it, pushed it into the bushes. The manna fell down to the ground and, hopping about, she reached the bushes, giving a congratulatory high pitched sound. She flew away. Summary of the lesson. Part 1. The author was living in his grandparents' house in Dehradun. There was a huge banyan tree in the yard. The tree was home to squirrels, snails, and butterflies. The author also made a platform on it for hiding and reading. His first friend was a small squirrel. He offered it pieces of cake and biscuit. It grew bold and began to take out food items even from his pocket. During the fig season, the tree was a very noisy place made by parrots, manna, nightingales, and crows. From his banyan tree platform, the author used to look down at the world below. Now, summary of the part 2. One day he saw a big cobra coming out in search of prey. Just then a mongoose also came out from the bushes. The two came face to face under the tree. Both were great fighters, swift and clever. The cobra raised its body 3 feet off the ground. The mongoose kept its eyes fixed below the cobra's hood. The fight between the champions began. There were three onlookers of the fight: the author, a manna, and a wild crow. The mongoose moved swifter than the snake. It bit the snake on the back. The two birds flew down to feed on the dead cobra, but they hit against each other. They made a second attempt but in vain. In the third attempt, the crow was bitten by the snake and it fell dead. Manna kept sitting on the cactus plant. The fight went on for quite some time. The cobra coiled itself around its enemy, but it could struggle no more. The mongoose dragged it into the bushes. The manna flew down and looked into the bushes, but it had no success. It flew away. So, children, I hope you all have understood the chapter.